To invite Alan Hall to join me up front. And we have just 5 minutes that we would like to update you on our trip out to Grand Rapids last weekend. If you were here last weekend, you noticed that I wasn't here, as well as Stephen Janis and Alan and June, Jen Brink. We were all in Grand Rapids last weekend visiting a multi-site, which is what we're planning on doing come next September. And the pastor there, David Beelan, who's been there for 40 years, they now have 2 sites in addition to their main site, has agreed to coach us in our journey towards multi-siting. As a matter of fact, we are only the 3rd CRC church in our denomination who's looking at doing multi-sites. I do hear that there are a couple more in the works. So we needed coaching and we needed help. And so I thought I would ask Alan to come up and share a little bit about how well it worked this weekend. Yeah.
It was actually a very fun weekend. Actually, I got to drive a little bit through the snow on the way down there, but in the end, it was worth the drive. The group down there were absolutely fantastic. They've spun off already. Their hospitality, they took us out for lunch after the service. They have 3 sites down there now. They've actually split twice over. Split twice over. So the first site we went to was the Ford site. They had over 200 people at the Ford site, and Martin and AJ and Janice and Steve went to the north site they had, and there were over 100 people there as well. So they've been very successful at it, and just the way they treated us and greeted us was fantastic.
Yeah. One of the things that we told them is that we're doing this a little differently than they did. They started with a very large church and then started 2 sites. We shared with them, look, we're a medium-sized church that's trying to do this, and we need you to tell us we're crazy. And we need you to tell us where the things are that we're doing that are crazy, because we have nobody else to do that for us outside of some of you who've told me that I'm crazy. Yeah. And you know what? Silence from them. They were just really impressed that we were listening to God, that we took the time to do that, and that we really felt that it was God's call upon us to do that. But not once did they say, don't do this, or what you're doing, it'll never work. Not once, which is wonderful.
Yeah. They were very excited to learn from us, from what we're doing, because we are doing things a little bit differently from what they are. They've got 1,100 people strong there, so within their group. But it was really an awesome group. They were showing us some of the things that got in their way, or bigger challenges for the way they were doing things, and they were asking us a lot of questions about what we have planned or what we can do to make this work up here in our area. So it was a really great exchange of information.
Yeah, it was the humility that really came across in the conversation, right? Not only were they willing to give us their time, we spent 2 hours over lunch with all of their staff, but they said, look, because you guys are doing this differently and you're doing it from a medium-sized group, we want to send a team out to observe how you guys are doing this, because we want our sites to do what you're doing. And it was just like a bit of shocked, right? That they said, hey, we think that you're doing this so well that we want to learn how you're doing it too.
Yep. When they broke off, they started off with about 50 members at each site that went from their main site, Madison Square, and went to each of the sites to start it off. Just shows the depth that they had. There were so many powerful speakers there within their group. It was fantastic. Part of what they showed to us as well, though, was the fact that they had to keep the DNA across all of the groups. They basically have series similar to what we do here, where they would run the same series through the same of services at each of the locations. But then when they had a gap in between, they'd have what they call the pastor's choice. And the pastor's choice, they could choose something that was more relevant maybe to their specific area. I think Martin's area was talking about adoptions. Ours was more recovery from sins or past hurts and hang-ups. And I'm not sure what the one was at the main service.
Yeah, we didn't go that one, yeah. Yeah, it's worth saying, though, that when Al said 50 people started, one site is now at 120, the other side is now at over 200. So it's possible for us to do something very similar, that our 2 sites, although they'll both be similar in size, 60, 70, 80-ish on each site, could see within 2 or 3 years, doubling, if not tripling, of what God could do. So just very encouraging for us to go there. If you want a chance to talk with us about it, we're going to be at the members meeting. We're each going to be sitting at a table. We're going to have a long discussion, allow you to ask some questions at the members meeting coming up. Even if you're not a member and you want to be part of this and you're interested, come, join us. A significant portion of our meeting this week will be over that. Just to wrap the conversation up, I'm already having conversations with the pastors in Newcastle. I sat down and had an hour conversation with 4 of them. It's amazing to me, I didn't get any pushback from them about doing this. Each one of them were excited about this, and I was really concerned about that. As a matter of fact, the smallest church in town offered to send us people and to give us money. Isn't that incredible? 30 people, and they said, come recruit for us. Now that, to me, speaks highly of them as a church, the little lighthouse church in Newcastle. Pastor Dave, shout out to him. Just very humbling to watch his sacrificial spirit. So there is a welcome to that. What we've also done is talk to them about setting a table together and doing some acts of kindness or adding value to the community together. And some of those churches are excited about doing that with us. All right. Thanks.
Thanks.